Hello everyone, my name is Tim Burgess and welcome to this podcast where we talk about things that are going on in the world and we have a discussion about them. Some of these topics are problems that we will come up with some possible solutions for. Welcome to A Dog's Talk. Hello and welcome back. I'm your host, Tim Burgess. This is episode 3 of A Dog's Talk. Today on the podcast, we will discuss climate change, the movie Black Widow, and much more. Make sure you stick around for the entire show. I hope you enjoy the podcast. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the show. If you have not already, I would like you to please go back and listen to episode 1 and then episode 2. Episode 1 gives a brief overview of the show, what it's about, what I'm going to talk about, all of that. Make sure you check that one out first. And then episode 2 just is the first normal episode of this show. So yeah, if you haven't done that, go check both of those out. But anyway, let's get right on with the show. So, this episode is not a week later from when I released the other one. This is actually a few days after I released episode 2. Now, the reasoning for that is I'm going to try and get back onto my Monday or Tuesday release dates. And this was the only way to do it, so I'm recording this episode and I recorded the last one actually quite close to each other. Now hopefully this doesn't happen a lot in the future. I'm hoping it doesn't, but no promises. Anyway, current events. So I have one current event for you listeners today. Recently, actually, so last week and then today, which is July 20th. There was 2 billionaires who took a space flight in their rocket companies that they have created, or their space flight companies that they have created. One of them was the very genius of a man, the billionaire Jeff Bezos in his Blue Origin rocket. And then the other one, which was a week ago, I think, was Virgin Galactic, and the person behind that was Richard Branson. Both gentlemen took a space flight that was not that high up, didn't really orbit. Actually, I think the Virgin Galactic did. I'm not 100% sure. But I say rockets. The Virgin Galactic one was not a rocket. That was more of a plane and more of like a space shuttle type vehicle. But the Blue Origin one was a rocket, a full-on rocket, and what you see SpaceX kind of using. I want to go to space. Now, as of right now, it costs, like, civilian travel into space costs a lot of money, like a lot of money. But I want to go into space. So I unfortunately do not have billions of dollars. Actually, I think the 18-year-old who was on Jeff Bezos' flight paid millions, not billions. But I do not have millions of dollars laying around. However, Jeff Bezos did say one of the missions behind Blue Origin was to create infrastructure, or a different type of infrastructure, which, was spaceflight for civilians. And he was hoping down the line that it would not cost millions of dollars for a person, maybe thousands, which is a little more reasonable, but that is still a lot of money to go to space. But, being able to, while also not training for the years like astronauts do, would be a very interesting and fun experience. Now that would be worth the millions and the thousands of dollars that you would have to pay in the future. But if the price was like $20 a ticket, which it probably will not be in my lifetime, it'll probably take that like many, many years to be $20 a ticket into space. Well, what am I saying? If you want to take a plane right now, or like in general, it's more like $500. So what am I saying? It will never be $20 a ticket to go into space. But anyway, you get the idea. I wish it was $1,000 right now, but of course, it's not. But yeah, I want to go into space. Seeing those two go up in their respective rockets / planes was very encouraging to me. And I've always had an interest in space, and I don't study it. I'm not a professional on space travel or rocket engineering or rocket science. I'm not a professional on that, but of course I have an interest in the actual activity of going up into space, if you can call it an activity, or the voyage of going up into space. But yeah, I in my lifetime would like to go up to space at some point, just to see what it looks like, to see from a different perspective. I do not want to go to Mars, and some may be shocked to hear that, but I myself do not want to go to Mars. That is for astronauts who train many years for that, because there may be something that they do not come back, and I would like to come back here for a little bit, at least until we have the Earth. Now, that being said, today in the intro you heard that we are going to talk about climate change, and that is a great lead into that segment, which is the Let's Talk segment, and today's Let's Talk is about climate change. I myself, so now we're going to switch from space travel, which is a fun fantasy to, as of right now, it is a fun fantasy to think about. It is not there yet for civilian travel. Now, these two flights that Virgin and Blue Origin did, very promising for space travel, okay, for civilians, but it's not there yet, because not everyone has millions of dollars lying around, and I wish I did so I could take a trip, but I do not. But it's not there yet, but it is a good fantasy to live, or a good fantasy to dream about right now, because it is in the near future. Space travel is in the near future. Anyway, let's transition into the Let's Talk, and we're going to talk about climate change. Now, a little disclaimer to everyone listening right now. I myself am not a climate change scientist at all. I'm not an environmental scientist. I'm not any sort of earth science scientist. I am merely 19, almost 20 years old. However, I have some expertise on it because in high school I took a 2-year course. If you're a high schooler listening to this, and your school has IB classes, that is what I took. I took an IB environmental science course. So I know a little bit of what I'm going to talk about. I don't know a whole bunch, but I believe that climate change is one of those issues. Now, it can be political. It shouldn't be, like I said about the vaccine, it shouldn't be political. Climate change is on us. It's not a hoax. Just like COVID, it's not a hoax. It's real. It's affecting our planet. And we really don't know how many years we have to live on this planet, or how long this planet is going to last, and be able to support us. Because human population is growing. We know that. That's a fact. We have billions of people on this earth right now, and we're only going to continue getting more people on this earth. And as of right now, the planet can sustain us, all of us, but there's going to come a time and a point where it cannot, and that we don't know when that is. We have projections, we have predictions on when that's going to be, but we don't actually know for sure. Now, climate change is something that I believe that every person on earth should be aware about. Every person should know what's wrong with it, or so everyone should know what's wrong with the Earth. Everyone should have a general concept of what's happening to our Earth. I'm also looking at how high my audio is going, and if it is ever piercing, I apologize. I'm still playing around with the gain and stuff, and I'm still playing around with where I have to be to talk. But anyway, climate change is something that I believe that everyone should be aware of. Everyone should know what's happening, what's causing it, what's in the atmosphere, and really should be able to think on how you can fix it, or how there's some solutions out there to fix it. Now, there are a few different solutions that everyone's aware of. You can switch from using a gas-powered car to a electric car, like a Tesla or something like that. Now, and I heard a rumor, it could be true, that Lamborghini was going to make all of its cars electric now, no more gas cars, which is kind of sad, but because I love hearing like cars, I love loud cars, and Lamborghinis are one of those cars that sound amazing. But if, to be honest, if when it comes to sound and like what I think what I like and what the environment needs, I'm all for electric cars. The one problem, I currently do not drive an electric car. I drive a gas car. Now, and I consider myself somewhat of an environmentalist because I believe in this issue. I want to change it, and I want to research and help ways to change climate change. I do not think, my personal preference right now on electric vehicles is that I do not trust them as of right now. Now, that could change in a few years when I actually look for new cars to buy or anything like that. Right now, I do not trust them, because if I want to go down from my state of Maine and go down to Massachusetts, which is, I don't have it in front of me. It's a distance. It's more than 50 miles away. I know they're making electric cars that can go 200 plus miles now on one singular charge. However, those cars are quite expensive right now. Like the Tesla, I believe, can go 200 plus miles without being recharged. Those are, I believe, $100,000 to $200,000, and I don't have that money right now to spend on a Tesla. So there's the other thing. There's the other issue with electric cars, is that they're so expensive right now. Now you could get a Toyota Prius, which I can do some research as I'm talking to you right now. But I believe those are a little cheaper, but they don't go as far. You see, there's the other issue. More expensive will go further. Less expensive will not go further. And less trustworthy in my mind. Now, that's the big reason why I do not fully trust a electric car right now, is because I want it to be able to go 300 something miles on one charge. I want it to be guaranteed that, and I want it to be in the price range of a normal gas vehicle right now. Because a lot of gas vehicles are, between $20,000 and $40,000, and they will go 300 miles an hour, or 300 miles on a single tank of gas without needing to be refilled. That's my big issue with battery powered cars right now, is that I don't trust how far they can go. And then there's the other issue of when you need a new charge, it takes like 7 hours to charge it fully, and then some of them even take a day to charge fully. I can just go to the gas station, fill up a tank of gas for and it would take me like 5 minutes at the max, maybe, and then I have 300 miles right there. Now, that's the other issue. So these are problems that need to be fixed and thought of when researching and creating battery-powered cars. Now, of course, it's going to get to that point in the future. The future will have all battery-powered cars that can do the 300 miles on a single charge, and then to recharge that would take maybe like 10 minutes at the max. But as of right now, it's not there, unfortunately. But as of right now, and that's the big problem, is you got the carbon dioxide from your gas that you're burning in your car, and that's going up into the atmosphere, and that's a big factor of climate change right now, because it's destroying the ozone layer in our atmosphere. That with methane, CFLs, as I'm trying to get my data back up, CFCs, chlorofluorocarbons, and then there's the methane, the carbon dioxide, and then the nitrous oxide that is also getting released into our atmosphere. It's basically destroying the thing that protects us against the sun's radiation, the ozone layer. So the major thing for people that want to help with climate change, want to do their part to fight against climate change, is the best thing they can do is go electric on their vehicles. But as of right now, like I said, it is not there. It is nowhere near being to where it needs to go. It has a few years to go. It has a lot more research to go into it. The price range needs to get dropped for those reliable vehicles like the Tesla. Now, obviously, the Tesla's a luxury vehicle, but if Elon Musk could make a vehicle that was, say, $30,000 that could do that mileage, that would be a significant step into getting more people to get electric cars instead of gas cars. Now, Ford, I believe, is now making a all-electric truck, which is interesting. That is a big step into getting a lot of truck owners who love their trucks, who love their gas trucks, who love their diesel trucks. That's a big step into getting those people into loving and getting an electric truck. How good are they at towing? How good are they at the mileage thing on one charge? How good are they at recharging? Now, I've seen a video of them, and it looks like the truck looks amazing. The truck looks fantastic. It looks like an F-150, but from the future. Okay, so it looks great. But I'm not sure the specs on the mileage that it can go on one charge. It might be up to 300. I'm sure the price is sky high on that. Way more than a normal F-150. Because it's so new and the technology is so new. I even saw in the video, which is an interesting thing, and I actually want to see if that works and stuff. It can if you lose power, the truck can act as a whole house generator. Now, if that's true, and without wasting all the truck's energy and all the truck's power, that is a fantastic leap into the future right there. If it drains the truck significantly while you're using it for power in your house, then that's an issue, because how are you going to recharge it? How long does it take to recharge? These are all things that you got to think about. Now, you got to give them some credit. They just came out with this truck. They're going to have some kinks to figure out. They're going to have more ideas to make it better, obviously. It's just like I said before, it's not there yet. All the electric stuff is not there yet. Me personally, I do not trust it yet. I will in the future. I know I will in the future, because I've been looking at electric cars. I've been looking at Teslas. I've been looking at the Ford F-150. I've been looking at not Priuses. To be honest, if I see a Prius go by, I curse at it, because it's just one of those things. I learned how to drive on a Prius. That's what my driver's ed company had, was a Prius. But it was a Prius hybrid. It wasn't a full electric Prius. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Priuses. It's just how they look, and it's just, I don't know. It's a stereotypical thing, I guess. If you're from Maine, you're not a really big fan of a Prius. Anyway, so yeah, back to the climate change thing. Electric cars is something that can help prevent or can have a huge impact on climate change and the carbon dioxide emissions into the atmosphere. Now, I'm looking as of right now, on the NASA's website for global climate change, and it's actually kind of cool. I suggest that you go look at it, research it. It's called, and it says under it, it says vital signs of the planet. Now, NASA is clearly a leading organization in climate change and space and all that. They've done this thing with the climate change, and to be honest, their website is it brings you in. It brings you right in. Um, it's very easy to read. It's easy to get information from. As of right now, I can see the evidence for rapid climate change is compelling, and it brings all these things in that's wrong with the environment because of climate change. We see that the global temperature is rising. Warming oceans. The oceans are warming. It gives you the data. Earth stored, and it says Earth stores 90% of the extra energy in the ocean that it gets from the sun. And we are getting a lot more radiation from the sun because of the ozone layer being decreased. So it's not rebounding some of that some of that radiation that's coming in, and then the radiation that's coming in and the heat that's coming in that is bouncing off the Earth trying to get out is being trapped. So it's basically like a huge oven. So we see that the oceans are warming, which is a very big problem for especially cold water regions that, like my state, certain animals and certain species need cold ocean water to survive, and these warming oceans are not helping it at all. We see shrinking ice sheets. This is a big problem with the icebergs melting and all these ice sheets melting in the Arctic, the Antarctic, and like Greenland, Iceland, all those places. Especially places where there's polar bears. Now, we've seen the stories. Many of us are educated on these stories of the polar bears that can't hunt, that because they can't get close to the ocean enough to where the seals are. The seals are going different places because, they love ice, they love hiding in ice, and, they can swim, so they can go different places. The polar bears can kind of swim, but not for far distances like the seals can. So there goes the polar bear's food source, which is, as you've seen, the horrifying pictures of polar bears that are very skinny, that will not survive because of these shrinking ice sheets and these melting ice caps. All of that, as the next thing says, it's glacial retreat. We see a lot more water being melted and put into the ocean, which is another thing. The sea level is rising because of all these melting ice caps and all these melting things. The sea level is rising, which is very, very scary for, say, if you live in Florida, coastal Florida. There's more water coming in, so more of the land is becoming overcome with seawater because of these issues. We see a decrease in snow cover, because it's just melting. It comes down, and then the sun comes out with the radiation and the heat, and then it just melts. It doesn't stay for a long time. A lot of the Earth's water is frozen, and when it becomes unfrozen, it's a storage when it's frozen. So, when it melts, it used to be when it melts, the ocean needed more water. That's how the Earth regulated its water. But now with the ozone level becoming getting broken apart, that storage of water in like frozen water is not there. It's melting too quick. It's going into the rivers, it's going into the ocean, and it's allowing the water to rise, which is very, very scary, very, very bad. Sea level rising is not good. The Earth needs the storage of water. It cannot just have all the water out, or else it would cover most of the land on the Earth. We already talked about declining Arctic sea ice, which is a glacier. Extreme. We've been seeing extreme events, weather events. That's something that is interesting. Um, the Earth has always had big weather events, okay? But what we're seeing more of is more intense rainfall, more intense winds, all that. And that has many different factors. Now, obviously, the rainfall is due to the evaporation of water from the sea, the oceans, all that. The sea and the ocean are the same thing. The sea, the rivers, the lakes. We're just seeing more water in those places. So obviously, there's more evaporation with the combined with the more radiation, the heat that's coming down from the sun. It creates more evaporation of a lot of that water, so we're seeing more rainfall. It's as simple as that. You're seeing more rainfall because there's more water in the lakes, oceans, and all that. There is more intense heat from the sun and the radiation, and that's causing evaporation, causing more rainfall. It's as simple as that. I'm not sure what's up with the wind and and obviously the snow that comes melts really quick. We see that. Some of those bigger events I'm not educated on and why it's being affected by climate change, but it is. It is being affected by climate change in a sense. And finally, on this website, something that I can explain very easily: ocean acidification. Now, the reason for that is because a lot more carbon dioxide, as we said before, carbon dioxide is easily, and other greenhouse gases, but mostly carbon dioxide, is easily transmitted into water. Okay, it's basically that. A lot of the carbon dioxide gets put into the water. Now that's because of rain that has fallen, acid rain. I'm sure everyone's heard about, which doesn't happen a lot, but it does happen. So carbon dioxide gets trapped in water very easily. So that being said, the oceans, we see that the top layer of the ocean is becoming more acid based, basically, instead of more like a base, and that's very harmful to many fish. Many fish and sea creatures can't deal with the acid, that high of an acid level in the ocean, and a lot of them live near the top, live near the surface, and that's where the acid is more concentrated, is at the surface. And it's all because of this carbon dioxide that is in the atmosphere, and then there's too much of it, so a lot of it is now going into the ocean, which is a storage for these greenhouse gases and stuff. And the levels of that are just increasing, and it's scary. It's bad. If you like fish, if you like eating seafood, then a lot of these fish that you eat cannot survive in acidic ocean waters. They cannot survive. It's impossible. So more of them are dying out, and we're seeing more fish species and shellfish species that can't take this acid dying off. And that's scary, because who wants a current species of animal to become extinct? I certainly do not, because once you disrupt the food chain and you get rid of a lot of these foods, these plants, these animals, we are at some point are going to die off too. Like, we will not be able to be supported with limited supply of food from other animals or plants, and then we also need water, and it's very hard. It's possible, but it's very hard and expensive to get this acid, a high amount of acid, out of water, and that's very scary. And yeah, it has to stop. So we have to take more precautions into ending climate change. Recently, in my state, Maine is it's on the coast, okay? Or at least the coastal side of Maine, which is the most populated part of Maine, is the coastal side. If you go more towards Canada, and more inland, there's less people. So everyone comes to the coast. So recently, in these past few weeks, my state has had a statewide ban on plastic bags. So no grocery stores that you go to have plastic bags anymore. It's the law now. They can't have plastic bags. They can't sell plastic bags. There's an exception for if you go up to like get like lettuce or something, and they have those plastic bags there to like put it in. There's an exception there. You still have those, but like to carry out like your groceries with, no more plastic bags. It's all either you bring your own or they have paper bags there. Now, what's the reason for that? That's all helping ocean life, because things such as a sea turtle, if a plastic bag gets or ends up in the ocean, it looks like their food. It looks like a why am I blanking on the term of what they eat? It looks like there it is. It looks like a jellyfish. Jellyfish is in there. That's their main source of food. Okay. There's other things that they eat, but jellyfish is a big part of their diet. If they eat that, it clogs up everything. It's like if you eat it, it's going to clog up your throat and your airway, and it's not good for them, obviously. So they die off. So that, and me personally, I have seen multiple plastic bags in either in the ocean or along the coastline, like either on the beach or on the road. I've seen plastic bags, and I do everything I can to pick up every one I see, because you don't want to pollute the ocean. The ocean is a big part of our water and is a big habitat for sea life and anything that is in the sea. And you know, to be honest, it is a big way to travel and to get goods from a different country. So we have to protect the ocean. We have to protect the ocean. So my state has clearly gotten that, and that is why they put in this statewide plastic bag ban. And I believe it is a fantastic law. It is a fantastic ban. And I believe every state that is along the coast should have that, because we really can't just pollute our ocean with that. Now, there's other things that we have to do. Many places that I've gone to no longer have the plastic straws, which also get lodged, as we've all seen the video, get lodged up the sea turtle's nose. It also is bad for other creatures such as birds. Same with the plastic bags. Birds might try and eat it. There's things they don't know. Like anything human made, an animal will not know what it is. They will not know the difference between if it's food or not. And then bad things happen if they try and eat the things that aren't food. We've all seen the videos. So that's why it's very important to protect our oceans, is because we don't want these things dying off. Because imagine if that was you. You know, you as a sea turtle thinking that a plastic bag is a jellyfish, and then going on to eat it, and then guess what? It clogs up your system. You can't breathe and you die. That's scary, you know. And I would, for all those people that are saying, oh, well, it's not me, so I don't have to worry about it. Well, come on. You're not alone on this earth. We don't rule this earth. Yeah, we might outnumber a lot of species, but we don't own this earth. It has to be shared, and we, being humans, have the best and are able to. We have the best ability, and we are able to change the course of climate change. We are able to change the course of climate change if we just use our common sense, use our knowledge. We can help. We are the species that can help, because, to be honest, we did this. We did all this. No other animal did this. This was all us. I have on here as well, under climate change, a little note. So recently in one of the towns in Maine, there was a carcass of a whale that washed up. That could have been many reasons, but I kind of just was going to connect it to climate change, because there's illnesses going around in the ocean, and also the acidification being caused in the ocean, that would cause that whale to die. There are many different things that would cause that whale to die, and that was kind of an example I wanted to use. Was in somewhere close to me, there was a whale that washed up on shore that was eaten by a shark. But it died before it was eaten by a shark, obviously. But it died of something else, or it could have died from something else. Research will get that answer soon. Anyway, it's been 34 minutes. I've been talking about this, I think, for 20 minutes. I'm not sure. If someone wants to time me, that would be fantastic. I've been talking about this for a long time now. We're going to move I could go on and on about climate change. I could go on and on how to fix climate change, or how, this is one of those discussions that I want to bring back up in the future. If my audience for this podcast becomes more, if I get more people to listen to this podcast, I want to bring this topic back up because it's so important. It's so important. And I want to, like I said in the other episodes, I want to bring you, the listeners, more in on some of these topics. And this is an issue. Now, it's a political issue. It shouldn't be. It should just be a human issue. Everyone should be talking about it. Everyone should be thinking of ways to fix it. But the best way to fix it is to bring up laws that, like the plastic bag ban. That's the best way to fight climate change. I want to bring it, like I said, I want to bring it back up in the future. I want to get you, the listeners, involved in it, hopefully in the future, if my audience becomes more broad. So if you're listening to this podcast, especially this episode, share it with someone you know. Share it with someone who either, believes fully in climate change and that we need to fix climate change, or share it with someone who doesn't believe in it, who doesn't think that it's a big issue. Because I want to hear all sides. All sides are important. All sides of any issue are important. And that's something we need to work on, especially in this country, of knowing that there are two sides to everything, or there's multiple sides to everything, and we just need to listen to each other. We all just need to listen to each other. And that's one of the things I want to do on this show. And I'm going to bring that back up. And because it's an issue that's so important. So stay tuned for more on that issue. I can go on. And like I said, I'm not a professional. If I got any of those facts wrong that I was talking about from the NASA website, sorry. Like I said, I'm only almost 20 years old. I don't know everything. I'm willing to learn, but those are the things that I know of from taking that class, from living on this earth, from watching the news. So that is all I'm going to say on that issue. Now let's go on. As I go over 30 minutes, which I said, wasn't going to happen a lot, but I guess these episodes are going to be 45 minutes long. We're going to go on to the next thing I was going to talk about, which is a phone game. Now, this is a little more interesting. If you like playing games on your phone, you're going to love this one. It is called Upland. It is a free game. As of right now, it's on Apple. I'm not sure if it's on anything like Android or anything like that, or Samsung. I'm not sure, or Google iPhone or a Google phone or something. It probably is, but I play it on an iPhone. It's called Upland. I have been drawn in by it. I'm not gonna lie. I've been drawn in by it. These are the words I'm gonna describe it as. All right. I'm gonna describe it as investing, real estate. It's a big real estate game, a fun game, a simulation game, a free game, a free game. This game is interesting. So what you do is it's like, they call it an explorer. It's kind of like your little avatar guy, but it's not like an actual avatar. It's just like a picture. Mine is a badge. It looks like a police badge. And it just kind of just floats around. You have a starting point, and it just kind of just like goes around. And what you can do in this game is you can end up buying property. Now, it's not real. Like, some of the places are real. Like, you can go to Chicago, you can go to San Francisco, you can go to New York. They have actual streets and stuff. But the property you buy, you don't actually own in real life, obviously. But you own it in the game. And everyone around you, so if you play in the United States, you're going to see all the property that everyone in the United States is playing. And the property that they have, you can see. Sometimes you can buy it, sometimes you can't if they have it up for sale. Now, I've only just started playing it. It is kind of hard to start out with. You have to get up to a certain level and stuff. But it's fun. It draws you in. It, gives you kind of a kind of an education on how property and real estate works. the best way I can describe it is kind of like a game of Monopoly, except that you're not competing with others to get the most money. People that land on or that come across your land, uh, they have to pay. It does it automatically. You get money from owning certain lands. You can own an airport terminal, and people that use the airport terminal have to pay to use it, and then you get that money. It's not real money. It's called UPX. But yeah, it's a fun game if you're interested in that type of thing. If you're interested, if you have fun with Monopoly, you're gonna probably have fun with this, except it's a little less competitive. You can play with your friends, but it's kind of on a more of like a wider world map, because you see everyone that's in your area, what they own and stuff. So yes, so it's fun. I definitely recommend it. I definitely recommend you go check it out. At least look at the pictures, and if it doesn't look interesting, then obviously don't get it. You're not forced to get anything. But for me personally, I think it's fun, and I think it is a good addition to your phone, because it's not a good purchase because you don't have to buy it. It's free. And who doesn't love free stuff? A lot of the games that you can get are now free on the App Store, which is awesome, but because they mostly profit from ads and in-game purchases. Like, you can buy UPX with real money. But yeah, I definitely recommend you check it out. At least check out the pictures. I think there's a video that gives you kind of a rundown of what the game looks like and stuff. So I definitely recommend you go check it out. It's called Upland. That's all it's called. It's Upland. UPLAND. It's one word. So go check it out. Definitely recommend it. I have two other things that I want to talk about. Actually, I have three other things I want to talk about. The Tovala oven has been something that was on the last week's agenda. It's on this week's, but I'm not going to get to it today because this is going way over. Quickly, I want to do a movie review. Black Widow. Black Widow is a Marvel film with Scarlett Johansson as the Black Widow. It's about her story. It's about, it gives you an introduction to her family, and I put it in quotes because you're going to have to watch to figure out what happens. But it is action-packed. It has been long awaited. I believe it's a little over 2 years since they released like a trailer for it. It was supposed to come out in 2020, but obviously with COVID and stuff, it wasn't going to be able to make money in the box office. So it was a smart decision not to have it come out until COVID settled down. So it's out now. You can watch it on Disney Plus with Premiere Access, which is how I watched it. It is a action-packed movie. It is a fantastic movie, and it was well worth the wait, the almost 2-year wait. The acting in it is fantastic. Gotta love the guy from Stranger Things who's in it. He's so funny. It's I would call it in terms of it's kind of like a comedy. It is kind of like a comedy. But I'm not going to say too much like any of these movie reviews. You have to go watch the movie to find out. You have to go pay to watch it to find out. I don't want to steal business from the fantastic people at Marvel. You do have to go figure out on yourself. But I definitely recommend that especially if you are a Marvel fan and you were thinking like, to be honest, Avengers is done. I'm not going to watch anymore. You should watch this one. This one is really good. A 10 out of 10 recommend. So make sure you go check out Black Widow. Even if you're unsure, watch the trailer. It even from the trailer, it looks funny. I'm not even gonna hide that part. It's funny. It looks funny, and after watching it, it is funny. Okay, it's as simple as that. It's funny. So yeah, go check it out. Black Widow. It's a Marvel film, which obviously Disney owns. So yeah, go check it out. A quick music review. Last week I talked about a song. I think it was All on Me. I think that's what it was called. This week is another country song. Like I said before, I love country music. It's my favorite genre of music as of right now. Chris Stapleton's You Should Probably Leave. I'm pretty sure it's a pretty new song. It is another song that I have had on repeat. It's that good. It's at the top of my playlist. It's one that deserves to be on repeat. I play it every day. He has a very distinct. There's certain artists like John Mayer, that have a distinct voice that you just know it's them when they sing. Chris Stapleton is one of them. I could be blindfolded, hear other different people singing, and like not get like I would mess them up and stuff. Like they sound like this. Oh, they sound like that. If Chris Stapleton was played and I was blindfolded, I would be like, it's Chris Stapleton. That's his voice. He has a very distinct voice. It's not everyone will love it, but I do. And especially in that song. The guitar playing in that song is also amazing. I'm not sure he must. I'm sure he writes his own songs. Someone wants to fact check that. You can fact check that. But he must write his own songs, and I'm also not sure if he plays the guitar in it. But if it is, he's very talented at guitar, because the guitar playing in it is phenomenal. It's not like a rock song where it's like there's like a solo. No. There's not like a solo in it, but the rhythm, the notes, the combination of all that is just amazing. It's fantastic, and I definitely recommend that you go check it out. Now, once again, it's called "You Should Probably Leave" by Chris Stapleton. Go check it out. You're probably gonna let me know in the comments. I think whatever you listen on, I think you can comment on the episode. Let me know in the comments if you like it or not. If you don't, tell me why. Why don't you like it? And if you do like it, tell me why. If you agree with me on the reasons why I liked it, then tell me why. Because I'm generally interested in why you like it or don't like it. Because it's one of those songs that, you can have both ways on it. But for me, it's on repeat for me. I love it. Chris Stapleton's "You Should Probably Leave." Before I end this episode, I'm going to just kind of do like a little review on some new equipment that I just got for the podcast, for podcasting, that I'm currently using. No, I did not get a new microphone. I'm still using a Blue Yeti. I just purchased, and it came quite fast, on Amazon. Jeff Bezos, if you're listening, I used Amazon to buy both of these things. I use Amazon a lot. Hopefully that gets me brownie points on a possible free flight on your Blue Origin rocket to space. Maybe. Hopefully. Shoot me an email if that does. And my email's in the description. Anyway, through Amazon, I purchased this windscreen, I believe it's called. Windscreen, I don't know, I think it is, for the Blue Yeti. It just goes over, and it improves, like, from background noise. Like, you can probably hear right now, like, in my monitors, I can hear that you can kind of hear the AC, which is something I'm working on. Like I said before, I don't want to record in a hot room, which is what I'm afraid of if I turn those off. It's on the lowest setting, though, but you can still hear it. But anyway, it helps with, like, if I get closer, obviously it's much louder, because that's how the gain is. But, like, P words, like me saying P, is less, like, harsh on the ears, and, like, the breathing part is better, because the windscreen, I'm going to back up now, the windscreen helps with that, so that's another thing it helps with, and I can hear myself, and I sound fantastic, is what I think. That's what I think. Now, I've also heard me voice crack a little bit through this entire recording, which is okay, because I'm kind of thirsty, so that's kind of gonna just happen. But anyway, so yeah, that I'm actually quite impressed with this. I don't have the name of it, but you could legit just search up a windscreen for Blue Yeti and just get it, if you have a Blue Yeti and you use it for stuff. Because I definitely do recommend getting it, because it improves your sound quality. It doesn't improve, like, your range or anything like that. it just improves your sound quality, and it drowns out some of that, some of the background noise, and some of the stuff, like when you're saying something, it doesn't allow as much like breath to get to touch the microphone. Also, apparently it's supposed to help you with like if you're doing an outside recording, the wind, and it's windy, it'll help with that. Obviously it probably will, but I don't intend to do any outside recordings as of right now. But anyway, so yeah, that's one of the new things I got. The other new thing I got with this that came today are ear monitors, which before I was telling you that I had just normal Apple earbuds that plugged into the bottom of my microphone. One of them, the right one, was not working, so that really didn't help me at all. So I purchased these ones. These ones are called KZ-ZSN Pro X. Company, I think that's just the company's KZ. They're the gold ones. They're like kind of what the singers use, like the monitors that they use. They legit are sitting nicely in my ear right now. They sound fantastic. I can hear my voice very clearly. It's just when I'm recording, the sound quality kind of goes down, and I don't hear like when I'm recording, I don't hear everything that is wrong with the audio, so I can't fix it. So as of right now, I'm not sure if I sound good or not. I can hear what's going into the microphone. I can't hear what the computer's hearing, which kind of sounds weird, and some of you computer guys are probably going to be like, that doesn't make any sense, but trust me, I've replayed the audio, and it sounds different from when I'm listening to myself talk. And it usually sounds better from what I'm hearing right now. But yeah, these are amazing. They allow me to hear myself very good. They're very comfortable. They stay in my ear and they don't hurt. Like, I can barely feel them right now. It feels like I'm not wearing anything right now. They're like in my ear kinda. They are very much worth the purchase if you are interested in like podcasting, if you're interested in doing like voiceovers, if you're interested in singing. I definitely recommend these. They have a nice little swirly plug or swirly cord that actually feels really nice. They go behind your ears. They're pre like bent at like for the ears, so they come like that. I had to change the I don't know what you call those, like the thing they have, the little rubber thing that makes the seal against the ear tip or whatever. I had to change those. I usually have to change those, like with my new AirPod Pros. I had to change them to the smallest one. I always have to change it to the smallest one because whichever generic one they put on doesn't usually fit me, so I always have to do the smaller one. So as of right now, these are the smaller ones. They fit really good for me. It's all personal preference, obviously. It was a little hard to get them on, though. You have to like kind of like peel back the part that touches your ear and then put the little, yeah, you can figure it out. But that's if you get them. I got the stylish ones. I got the gold ones without the microphone on them. I really like them. I can hear them. I've watched a video with them already. Them with them. They are very good. Like I said, I can't really feel them, and I'm guessing they feel really good when you use them for a long time. Like I've used them. They've been in my ear for almost an hour now, and I have no pain or anything, and I still can barely feel them. Now, I'm thinking about them now, so I can feel them. But when I'm not thinking about them, I can't really feel them. And I probably look, like, very cool with them on. No one's come into my room saying that I have, but I probably do. But maybe in the future when I try and do videos too, like some podcasters will also have, like, a video recording of when they're recording an episode. You'll be able to see them on me. As of right now, I don't have that right now because my audience is so low. But which brings me to another thing. If you're listening to this right now and you enjoyed it, please consider like subscribing or having the notifications on or whatever. However, like your platform does it. Like I'm speaking from a Apple Podcasts know-it-all. You can subscribe on there. It's free to subscribe to this one as of right now. So please, if you like listening to me, if I'm not annoying you, if you like the show in general, please subscribe, have the notifications on, and please share this podcast, because as of right now, I'm not doing this to, like I said before, I'm not doing this to make millions of dollars or anything like that. I have bigger ideas for a bigger audience. Like, I want to reach a lot of people, and I want to do good for the community, for the world. I want to, like I said before, I want to do charity stuff. I want to give the money that comes from this podcast to a charity. And I can't do that with, because last time I only had 4 people listen to the other one as of right now, which is completely fine. But I get it, because I'm just starting out. But I want to be able to do more stuff in the future. And anything that comes from the podcast in the future, like I said, certain episodes are going to go 100% of the proceeds are going to go to a charity of probably the audience's choice. That's the way I can bring you into the show, is you guys voting on what organization the money goes to. That's what I want to do in the future. So please share the show, share my message, share the reason why I'm doing, one of the reasons why I'm doing the show. My voice isn't that annoying, I'm not even sure if I have a podcasting voice, but it's not that annoying, and I'm trying my hardest to create a show that is interesting to listen to. Like, you have podcasts that have one subject for the show. This one isn't like that. This one has multiple subjects per show. It's more of kind of like a talk show, rather than like a specific, like the episode is on a specific topic. Now, a lot of what I've talked about is about climate change, but I've had other things on the show. But yes, like I said before, if you enjoy listening to me, subscribe, share this podcast with others, because I have big ideas and I have a big imagination as well. And I'm hoping to do those big ideas in the future. I just need a bigger audience. So I know I sound like pathetic right now and I'm pleading and stuff, but I'm sure every podcaster will say that when they're beginning. Share my podcast, share the message of it, share anything you want about the show. I'm just interested in doing good for the community, and I hope that you guys, anyone who's listening, is also interested in doing good for the community that you live in, because it's so important in life to give back. Because yes, it gives you so much, but you have to give it back. You have to give more than a society gives you. That's what I believe in. I believe in charities. I believe in, volunteering. Just do good. It makes you feel better than doing bad. Doing good always makes you feel better. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this episode of A Dog's Talk. I hope you will come back and join me for the next episode. And I hope you watch the other ones I hope you've listened to the other ones. I'm going to try and do another one next week, so stay tuned for episode 4, probably next Tuesday. Thank you so much for listening to me, and I hope you have a fantastic week, and I hope you will join me for the next episode. Thank you very much. Hey guys, it's me, Tim, again. A huge shout out once again to Paul Werner. His song Summer Voyage is what I'm using for my intro song. Make sure you check him and his music out at paulwernermusic.com. This episode was unsponsored. If you would like to sponsor a future episode, please contact the email that is in the description of each episode, and you will be sent the packages I offer. All rights for this podcast are reserved. The use of the audio is prohibited without permission.